It's time for Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting, and it's sponsored by Vidalia Federal in Lyons and Vidalia, Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton. Now let's see what's happening in our community with host Tony Doc Wardlaw.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, the Doc, and I'm glad to have you with us on this beautiful Wednesday morning. What a great day it is. I pray that everybody's doing well. I am. And I've got a special guest in the studio this morning. None other than the one and the only. The beautiful and the illustrious Miss Alexa Britton. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great, Tony. Thank you.
Good, good, good. I hope that I didn't get you up too early this morning.
No.
So that you can come and greet our very wonderful listeners of our community, but we're glad to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, for those of you who do not know who Miss Alexa is, she is let's see if I can get this right.
It's way too long.
She's the executive director of the Vidalia Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Good job.
All right, all right. And if that was a mouthful for you, then you can just simply call it the VC.
Vidalia CVB.
Oh, Vidalia CVB.
Right.
Oh, okay. Good, good. All right. So the Vidalia Convention and Visitors Bureau. Can you tell us what it is and how it has been benefiting us, and we may not have known about it?
Okay. Well, our job is to promote Vidalia as a destination, so we can bring in more visitors.
Okay.
We run a welcome center in the building where we're in the Vidalia Onion Museum building. So we also are the staff for the Onion Museum.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we're kind of a combination.
So during this, you'd say family reunion season and this, how do you say, vacation season, as we're having loved ones come into the community, it would be good to bring them down to the museum.
It would. We do get visitors that come into town for weddings and family reunions, people looking for their genealogy, like visiting the library, visiting local cemeteries.
Wow.
A lot of business travelers, people who are in town working, might have a few hours off. They come by to see us at the museum. So.
Wow. So at the visitor center and the museum, yes, we have people from out of town, but it could also benefit those of us who live here. Exactly.
If you want to know a little bit more about your history, or if you're looking for information on attractions in other parts of the state, like maybe you're going out of town and traveling somewhere and you want to see what's along the way to stop and see. Most of the time we have brochures in our office that tell you all that.
Oh, okay. Well, you're telling me something new. So it's just not brochures about Vidalia and Lyons?
The whole state.
You have the whole state. So if we're looking to go to a different part of Georgia, all we got to do is come down and visit Miss Alexa Britton.
That's right.
So you're the expert on where to go around here.
Well, I try. It's a big state, so it's a lot to know.
Oh, really? Wow. So in your capacity, are there different trainings, or do you get to visit a lot of these sites?
I do get to visit some, depending on where our meetings are. So we have annual training, and then we usually have regional meetings as well during the year. Okay.
So there in the museum, and as a part of the Vidalia Convention and Visitors Bureau, are you a one-woman show?
I have part-time help. So right now, I share a part-time person, a full-time person with Downtown Vidalia Association. So
you do get a little bit of help.
Yeah. Jennifer Smith is our employee, and she helps Tanya at Downtown Vidalia, and then she helps me 3 days a week.
And in fact, you and Ms. Tanya Parker, who is the executive director for the Vidalia Downtown Association, the two of you kind of work hand in hand.
Right. Downtown Vidalia Association does a lot of events, And so we try to work closely with them to promote all their events.
Okay.
So we operate on hotel motel tax
Okay.
that the city levies in the city limits.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all our funding. So
That's
we're
your
not
complete
funded
funding.
by any other tax or
No donations or
No.
anything. Wow.
Occasionally we do get a grant if we've found some grants that we've applied for. But the other thing that we do is oversee the management of the PAL Theater.
Okay. Okay. So the PAL Theater is under your purview
That's right.
and not the Downtown
Right.
Vidalia Association.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
always lots of things going on at the PAL, and we're
if-
trying to promote those too.
Okay. Now, for those persons who you can rent out the PAL
You
Theater,
sure can.
is that correct?
Yeah, it is a rental venue.
And so they would have to come to you to do that.
Oh, they go to the PAL because we have a manager there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Michael Harden is our manager, and he does a great job
Mm-hmm.
of running the theater. You know, we show first run movies, but we only show them on the weekends, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, can you explain what first run movies are?
It's new releases.
You do new releases.
New releases.
So all new releases.
Well, occasionally we have to fill in with something, you know, in between in order to get the schedule just right.
Right.
So we may show something that's been out a few weeks, but normally very new.
Okay.
Either brand new or very new.
Tell us how that works.
Well, we have an agent that we work through. She makes recommendations. We look at the schedule. If you're running a brand new release, it normally is required that you keep it for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So that does make scheduling harder. And since the pandemic, the number of movies being released still hasn't come back up to a
Right.
normal level.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And so it's a challenge to, you know, keep something new all the time. That's why sometimes you'll notice that in between new releases, we might have a week or two
Where
that,
you have an
that we
older-
go back and show a movie that may have been released 3 weeks before.
Wow.
So
So what has been the response for like the new movies?
it's been pretty good. You know, we have another theater in town, so, you know, we have competition. They do a great job. They have 5 screens. We have 1.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we certainly have our patrons who love the fact that it's an old theater. And
Right.
they, you know, it just has a lot of history. It's over 90 years old, and it's where a lot of people that live here in the area grew up going to the movie as a child.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it just has a lot of nostalgia.
Right,
That's
right.
about it.
And I don't mean to harp on the theater like I am, but it's intriguing because, again, and this is one of the reasons why I'm happy to have you on the show, is because you're telling me some things that I just did not know.
Right, right.
I mean,
The fun thing about it, too, is that we have live events. So we really operate as a performing arts theater as well. And we are working to do more and more of the performing arts, visual arts. We have a third level art gallery, and we try to have a rotating art exhibit there. We have live events. This is the first year since the pandemic that we've gotten back to having a full schedule of live events throughout the year. And those include some community events as well, things that are done by our community, like Little Theater. And so we've got like a murder mystery dinner theater coming up. We
Wow.
did a recent production that we actually wrote and produced, called Island Castaways, and that was, all local actors.
wow.
It was a lot of fun. And then we have professional acts coming in too. So we've already had 2. We've got 3. We've got another one coming up in July. Clayton Hackle is coming back to do a concert, July 20th. And then later on in the fall, we have a comedian named Karen Mills.
Wow.
And the Chinese Dance Company from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And then closer to Christmas, we've got it's a show called Bows and Strings, and there's an artist coming. I think she plays the cello.
Right. Okay.
So
all of this is under the purview of the Vidalia CVB,
right,
and if we want to know these schedules, then we can just simply visit the museum.
You can visit the museum. The PAL Theater has a great website, thepaltheater.com, and theater is spelled TRE at the end. And our website is visitvidaliaga.com.
Okay.
So all the information is there, and we stay busy all year.
Wow. Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you in is because in our community we have so many different, things at our exposure and to our disposal, but we just ride around and we ride by and we really don't, have total insight on what those things are.
Right.
And it sounds like, the Vidalia CVB is one of those places where you really need to make a stop.
Right. There are a lot of things going on, and Downtown Vidalia Association, like I said earlier, does a whole lot more events than I do as the CVB. Now, as the PAL Theater, there's a lot of other things that we just talked about, but one of the things new that Downtown Vidalia Association has done is introduce this new event called Sweet Saturday.
Okay.
So it's every second Saturday, May through October.
Wow.
And it's kind of a mini food truck festival.
Okay.
She started a food
Downtown.
truck festival in October of last year, was the first one she did.
And so this is why we've been seeing the downtown kind of blocked off at times.
Yes. That's
Wow.
right. Yeah. So there's another one coming up next Saturday, July 8th, and the theme is picnic.
Okay.
So she always has games, activities for the kids, music, live music, a band called Georgia Rhythm that's coming, and different kinds of foods that we don't normally have here in Vidalia with the food trucks.
You really do know what's going on in the city, don't
I
you?
try.
Now,
You have to know what's going on to promote it. So
how much of your knowledge bleeds over into Lyons and maybe Mount Vernon?
we do help promote events in Lyons and in Mount Vernon and different attractions in Mount Vernon and Lyons, because collectively we have a whole lot more attractions together than we do individually. So we do try to promote the things that Lyons Main Street's doing, particularly Tales from the Altamaha, the Real Squeal, those two big events. But people ask us about restaurants in Lyons as well, and we send them on this way.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Miss Alexa Britton. She is the Executive Director for the Vidalia Convention and Visitors Bureau, and she's doing a great job. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, what we want to do is talk more about your role and your capacity, and then we want to share and just a little bit more about some of the major highlights of events that you do throughout the year. Okay. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Smarter, not harder. Here at Vidalia Federal, we are all about that phrase as we strive to make your life easier. No more drowning in paperwork or being interrogated over the idea of buying a house. Getting a home loan should be an enjoyable, simple process, not a daunting task. This is Julia McKenzie with Vidalia Federal Savings Bank, and I am here to make the mortgage process easy and simple. Come see me at the Vidalia branch on Jackson Street to talk about your next home purchase or refinance. I look forward to serving you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas. This is Anthony J. with Todd Paget Housing Center. And no, I'm not Santa, but we sure are slaying the competition over here in Claxton, Georgia. We build our manufactured homes more energy efficient, better built, and have the best setup than anyone else. Whether you've been naughty or nice, come by and we'll be glad to show you the Todd Paget Housing Center difference. Jiggle us at 912-732-1466 or stop your sleigh at 5260 Highway 280 West in Claxton, Georgia. Todd Paget Housing Center. All of your housing solutions under one roof.
Welcome back to this edition of Community Matters. Again, I'm your host, The Doc, and I'm happy to have you with us. We have in the studio with us on this morning the wonderful Miss Alexa Britton. She is the Executive Director of the Vidalia Convention and Visitors Bureau. Miss Alexa, on last night we had some fireworks. Were you the one out there lighting those?
Thank goodness I don't have to do that part. But I coordinate it all, plan it all.
Excellent, excellent. And that is an annual event.
It is, and we normally do try to have it on July 4th every year. The only time we haven't is when July 4th falls on a Sunday.
Okay.
So we back it up to Saturday.
So we
Yeah.
still have it. We just
Right.
back it up
That's
one
right.
day.
Yep.
We don't we honor the old Sunday, the Sabbath,
Yep,
don't we?
that's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, excellent. Well, we appreciate that. You are, again, the executive director of the Vidalia CVB. Can you just kind of give us some more insight? I know you talked about it some, but just your day-to-day role and what do you do on a daily basis? Take us into the life of Miss Alexa Britton.
In the CVB office. I work real closely with our PAL manager,
Okay.
Michael, to coordinate events there and promote what we're doing at the PAL. And like we talked about earlier, it is a rental venue, so it's a great place to have a birthday party, a wedding, wedding receptions. We've even had a wedding in the theater.
Really?
Which is really fun. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all kinds of parties and, receptions. So that's good. And meetings.
Excellent.
Business meetings. So
Excellent.
we do that. And then I do all the advertising to promote the city and to promote the Vidalia Onion Museum. I do most of the promotions of the theater.
Wow.
So I spend a lot of my time creating ads and
And
talking to ad agencies and such.
so, are you the one responsible for allowing people to, have the trademark of the Vidalia Sweet Onion?
No, the trademark of the Vidalia onion belongs to the Georgia Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
And then the Vidalia Onion Committee is
Overseeing.
they oversee the brand. They
Okay.
market the brand of Vidalia onion, and they are a group of growers. And
Okay.
they're in our office, so we work closely with
You
them to
work.
make sure that we're giving the correct information to the public about the Vidalia onion.
Well, you've been in the office where you are now for quite some time.
Yes,
And you've been there. How long have you been?
I've been
with it?
there 9 years now.
9 years. And you've been in that building. I remember, going to the museum now for years. But you're about to have a new home.
Yeah, we're working on it. So, Vidalia City Hall moved out of their building in downtown and moved down to the annex and
Okay.
created a space down there. They've got a lot more room. And the museum is going to move into the old City Hall.
Oh.
And a lot of people don't know that the old City Hall in downtown was the post office. For
Oh, wow.
years. So that building was built about 1937.
Okay.
And it was the first United States post office that was built by the Postal Service
Dave, do you remember that?
in Vidalia. So it's really a neat building. It's got a lot of history.
Wow.
And so we're moving the museum in there. The Vidalia Onion Committee will be going with us.
Wow.
And the Downtown Vidalia Association will come over with us. So we'll all be in the
So
same
all
building
of you will be
together.
right in there in the same
Yeah.
building. We will be able to go in a one-stop shop.
That's right. And the idea was to marry the two, the museum with downtown and downtown with the museum, because we get a lot of visitors to the museum that don't all go downtown.
Wow.
And then there's downtown visitors who don't all come to the museum. So we figured if we could put the two together, or a whole lot closer together, that
And then you can
we'd
scream
get
out
more
the door and
visitors.
say, "Hey, Tanya, come down here. I've got one."
And most people don't realize how many visitors we get a year. We get
Wow.
over 200 a month
Oh, wow.
And we're-
In Toombs County?
in the museum.
In the museum?
Just in the museum.
200
That's all I
visitors a
can count
month.
is the number of museum visitors. Yes,
Oh,
over
my
200 a month.
goodness.
And they normally come from 46 to 48 states and usually about 10 countries.
Oh, wow. You
So,
see?
Yeah.
This is some valuable information on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I love to greet visitors. And, of course, we have a lot of locals who come in and out, too, because of the other offices in our building. So people are coming and going to meetings and such. But It's a lot of fun to meet people from all over the country and,
Wow.
and from all over the world.
So 10 different languages, or
Sometimes,
or
that
10
can-
different countries, right?
Right.
Probably several different languages.
Right.
Do you speak other languages?
no. But most of our visitors do speak pretty good English.
Oh, okay.
Coming
Great.
from other countries. Most of them do. We've had a few that we had a hard time communicating with.
Wow.
And that's one of our goals for the new museum is to do a better job of being able to hand out literature that they could read in a different
Excellent.
language.
Excellent.
Or that, we may be able to they can put on a headset and listen to a different, whatever their language is, and
Wow.
listen to a tour of the museum.
So we want to do all we can to try to bring people into our community and have them visit and stay in the hotels.
That's right.
That way we can continue to fund our museum and
Right.
our Vidalia VCB.
That's right.
So if someone wanted to get in touch with you and they had an idea for some events or just had some questions about our beautiful city, how would they go about that?
They can call the museum at 538-8687.
Mm-hmm.
And we are located on Commerce Way.
Okay.
That's right behind the Chamber of Commerce where they
Right
are
behind
now.
the Chamber of Commerce.
And we're on the side street on the west side of Southeastern Tech.
Technical College. Mm-hmm. And your website?
Visit VidaliaGA.com.
Real simple. Visit VidaliaGA.com. And that phone number again is 912-538-8687.
Yeah.
You're the one who picks up the phone?
No, Jennifer usually picks up the
Oh,
phone.
okay.
Usually, unless I'm there by myself. When she's at Tanya's office, I'm the one who answers the phone. And we also oversee the rental of the city park,
Oh,
the park that's connected to the old city hall.
and you're the gift that keeps on giving.
So if somebody wants to rent that, then they have to call our office. And there's-
Okay, that's the city park is where the stage is.
That's right, outdoor stage.
And,
We renamed it last year the Ronnie A. Dixon
That's right.
City Park.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So it looks like we're talking to a lady who wears many hats.
I do.
And
I do.
your office hours?
9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Okay. All right. We were just listening to Dolly Parton's 9 to 5, working 9 to 5.
That's what we do. We actually work more hours than that, but that's the hours at the museum.
What a
table.
way to make a living. All right, excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, we've been talking with the illustrious Miss Alexa Britton. She is the Executive Director of the Vidalia Convention and Visitors Bureau. Please stop by and go in and talk with Alexa. I'm going to be doing that and getting some of these brochures, and I'm just curious to see what other attractions throughout the state of Georgia that you would recommend as the expert,
Right.
but also to know more about things that are happening in our community. Any other main events throughout the year that you do? I know that we do the fireworks. Any other staple event that the Vidalia CVB does?
No, that's the main event we do is July 4th, and we just, like I said, we really coordinate it for the city and for our community, and our job primarily is to promote other events, events that other organizations are doing in Vidalia.
Well, we thank you. We appreciate, always we appreciate those persons who are working behind the scenes to make our community better. So on behalf of all of our listeners and the team here at Y101, allow us to say thank you. And,
Thank you.
And we appreciate you coming in and sharing with us on this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of Community Matters. As always, we thank our wonderful producer, the one and the only Dave Allen himself. And you probably heard me throw a jab at him to see if he was alive in 1937, but Dave's not that old, y'all. And we're thankful for Miss Dorothy Davis, who does a great job with putting our broadcasts on our website, tcbbroadcasting.com. That's tcbbroadcasting.com. Please go there and you can see this interview archived on our website, and you can see what the beautiful Miss Alexa Britton looks like. If you don't want to stop by the museum, you can go to our website. Thank you all for being with us. Come back again on next week. We will be here. I'm your host, the Doc. Come back again. Until the next time, God bless. Take care.
You've been listening to Community Matters with host Tony Doc Wardlaw, sponsored by Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton and by Vidalia Federal in Lyons and Vidalia. Tune in again next week to see what is happening in our community on Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting.